Why does it feel like everywhere we go, there's always somebody trying to mess with us? There's always somebody trying to start stuff with us. There's always somebody trying to, start beef with you when you don't even know this person, right? Have you ever just been walking somewhere, minding your business, in your own thoughts? Hell, you probably didn't even want to leave your room, but you were forced to, maybe by your dad, maybe by your mom, you know, maybe you're on your way walking to your job or whatever, or coming from the airport, wherever you're at. You just notice that guys like us, we seem to have some type of invisible target on our back. And we're already going through a lot of things in our life right now. Like we already been through all the pain. We already been through it. And we have to keep going through it. But it seems like these normies or these regular everyday people, they they like to find somebody who's down and out and then attack them. They like to look at you and laugh at your shoes. I had girls laugh at my shoes before, right? Because honestly, when I was younger, I didn't really care about, like having clothes and looking like all fresh and shit like that. I didn't really care. But as you get older, and especially when you enter high school, and you see how it's all like this social hierarchy, and if you don't fit in the certain hierarchy, if you don't look a certain way, you don't wear certain clothes, you don't talk about popular subjects and aspects, you get targeted on. And the people doing the bullying or doing the targeting, these people are pathetic themselves, but it's the people that encourage it. What have these people built? What have they created? Who relates to them? You got people who get bullied out the military trying to talk crap. You got people that wouldn't say anything to your face in real life, or when they see you in real life, they may do their snickering and all that until you snap. And one thing about people like us who've been through a lot of things, we hold in a lot of pain, we hold in a lot of agony, we hold in a lot of emotion. And when we release it, it can lead to catastrophic consequences. We seen what happened with, the Black Pill Lord Commander Elliot Rodger, and how he, had mental health issues, how he had a loving dad, a loving, well, I don't know about a loving dad, but he had a dad that was rich, you know what I mean, in Hollywood. And that still didn't stop him from pretty much losing his mind and letting his emotions fluctuate to a negative proposition. But when you're a guy in this position, notice how your family, friends, associates, people like that, how certain people, they just love to pick at you. They love, like, once people know that there's something that bothers you or something that you're insecure about, let's say your height or something like that, right? And your brother makes a comment about your height, and he knows that kind of bothers you, but he does it anyway because he knows that on the social hierarchy, you're kind of lower than him or whatever. But it's like, who decides these arbitrary social rules? Who decides who's a loser? Are you a loser because you're in an artificially created system that's not even designed for human, progress or ingenuity? You're in a system that's designed to soul drain you. You're in a system that's designed to break you. You're in a system that's designed to make you look like the failure and the loser. Like people call you a loser. Oh, this person didn't do this enough. This person didn't try hard enough. This person didn't. It's like, you don't know this person. How are you gonna watch a couple of videos from somebody and think you know them? You don't know everything about this person. How are you gonna talk about a man if you ain't never lived in that man's mother effing shoes? You know what I mean? That's what females do. That's what women do. You know what women do? Girl, look at that girl here. Oh, girl, look at that dress she wearing. Oh, she thinks she's something in that dress. Just hating instead of just minding their business. But that's what females do. A grown man shouldn't be trying to judge or talk about another grown man, especially if this person never bothered you and doesn't even know who you are. That's female nature. That's female dog behavior, right? But that lets you know who was raised by, attention-seeking harlots, right? So notice how when you're just trying to mind your business, it could be at your job, because I had this happen to me when I used to work years ago, right? Like, I'd be minding my business, right? Because I used to work at the Conservation Corps, of Long Beach or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's been so long ago. It's over a decade, right? That was like, 2013, 2014? Like, come on. But when I worked there, man, like, some of the places we would work at, like, one of the main places was Belmont Shore. And you have to, like, get your big ass bin, pull up on a trash can, take the nasty trash can with, like, dog poop in it, you know what I mean? Like, bloody freaking tampons, just people throw away all type of nasty crap in the public trash. It's like, what the hell? You have gloves on, whatever, but still, you gotta empty that, put that inside your little bin or whatever, and then, put a new trash bag over or whatever. But I would have somebody who, you know, that wasn't even a supervisor. It's kind of like like they weren't a supervisor, but they weren't like they weren't like necessarily higher than me, but they're kind of like the supervisor's pet, if that makes sense. And every time that I would like finish my side of the street on Belmont Shore earlier, they would always ask me, "Oh, did you really finish it, or are you skipping this or skipping that?" And they will always go by the trash cans that I did, and then they'll look inside and see if it's clean and do all that, because after you change the trash bags, you got to like spray the disinfectant on it and wipe it down and all that, If there's any like graffiti and stuff on it, you got to call the supervisor, and they bring like this special little ingredient, whatever, I forgot what it's called, but you spray it on, it helps get the graffiti off, whatever, and they get like this special brush, or they bring the power washer out. Yeah, you power wash it and all that. But you gotta understand, there's like people walking by and all that, so you gotta be careful. Like, but then also you're timed. And I'd have like this person that would just always kind of be on my ass for no reason. I never did anything to this person. I was nothing but nice and respectful, you know. But it just shows me that the demiurge, or whatever evil being, which is the demiurge that controls this reality we're in, it loves to pick on people that mind their business. Like, if you're a person that minds your business and you don't bother nobody, this world is going to present you in front of people that love drama. They love internet, beef. They love, like, it's like, how can you beef with somebody on the internet if you never even talk to them face to face as a man, right? It just makes no sense. Like, how can you sit there and look at somebody who you just seen at the mall or seen at the movie theater, and you look at their shoes and you judge them? And you judge them because of their shoes, or you judge them because of their clothes, or you judge them because of their skin color configuration. For years, I felt like I don't belong in the skin that I'm in. For years, I felt like, I think Savvy Guy said it too. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like a snowman. You know what I mean? And I let you read in between the lines of that. I gotta comply with YouTube's rules and regulations and all that. You know how it is, man. But that's what I feel like at times. That if I was another skin color configuration, I guarantee my life would be a lot better. My channel would be a lot more better and successful. I'd have a lot more views. I'd have a lot more subscribers. Like, can you imagine if I sound like Markiplier, or maybe not Markiplier, but you know what I mean? Like somebody who talks about the things we go through in this life, but my skin color configuration was more Eurocentric, and how big my channel would be. Well, but because of that, my skin color configuration, like, I'm being punished for that, and I'm being targeted for that, man. You know how many times this is one of the reasons why I don't like going to the grocery stores, and why I just order my food online, whatever, is because every time I go to the grocery store, every single time, without fail, bruh, there's always some manager or always somebody that follows me around the store thinking that I'm going to steal something. They think that I'm so stupid that I'm going to sit there with the cameras. And like, there's cameras everywhere nowadays. There's facial recognition, there's facial recognition systems and other type of biometric integrations that are in these systems. And you walk into the store thinking that no one's paying attention to you, but hell, as soon as you put up in the parking lot, there was cameras in the damn, and there's lights in those parking lots by the grocery store. Those sometimes they're labeled, other times they're not, but they be labeled security. Like, it's watching your license plate, it's watching your face. They're doing all these algorithmic patterns and stuff. Do you really think I'm gonna walk into a store and steal a candy bar? Like, come on. Now I know some people in my skin color configuration, they do that. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not the truth, right? It happens. Like, come on, let's be real. But you can tell, like, certain people. Like, I'm a type of person where when I go out into public places, I try not to look like somebody that's of a lower economic disposition. I try to look like somebody that's presentable, somebody that is articulate, somebody that deserves to be there. But even though I know my skin color configuration, it may say otherwise to other people. But what I'm saying is that everywhere I go, I feel like I'm picked at. You can't even go to a grocery store without people following you around, right? And people wonder why you like, oh, this person stays in their room, or they rot in their room, or something like that. Why do you care what I do in my room? Why do you care if I rot in my room? Are you going to give me some money? Why do you care if I'm a loser or a failure? Why do you care if I'm somebody in a bad position economically? What are you getting from this? What? You have men, I'm talking about men, who talk about, oh, women are this and women are that. And yeah, women have their problems, but let's be real. A lot of our problems came from other men. Whether it was your father, whether it was your brother, whether it was people bullying and teasing you. Yeah, there was women that got involved, but from what I've seen, there's a lot more men that act like women than women that act like women. That's just being honest. Like there's men out there that gossip about other men they don't know. They make a Discord and start talking about people. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this to. Oh yeah, we're gonna dox them. We're gonna do this. We're gonna yeah. You know, that's like it's just like that's like little female dog type of behavior. But in real life, when you see these people when they're by, because that you gotta understand, bullies are cowards. They only bully when there's a group of people. They pick on one person who's not even fighting back, who doesn't even know they exist, and then they come to and then they go on Discord and they go in these little online private areas, and then they start talking crap and piling on and doing that. And they know damn well if their family or if they, if their family, if their mom or dad find out what they're doing on their computer, like why are you harassing a random person online who you don't even know? How stupid that would feel and look. And if they're at a job or if they're at a school or something like that, and somebody comes in and say, "Hey, you made this video about this person, or you got this person doxxed," and they get socially blamed, watch how fast these people will back out of it. No, I didn't do that. No, we were just playing. Well, no, he did this to me. He did this to me. He's like, it's like, did that person dox you and get you kicked out in the house and left homeless? You know, right? So what I learned, man, is that everywhere we go as a guy in this position, you're going to be attacked. You're going to have people that's going to, it's like sharks in the water smelling blood, right? And you're always going to have people that are going to try to negatively affect your confidence, try to undermine your accomplishments, even if you have a little accomplishment. It doesn't matter. There's something that you're good at. There's something that you're talented at. There's something that you can proliferate and elevate into a pure solidification of your talents and attributes. There's something you're good at, man. There's something just like you have to be around the right people. See, a lot of us were around the wrong people. We're around normies. And a normie is going to look at the traditional career path and they're going to say that's the only way there is, right? They're not going to think about entrepreneurship and how to create assets that appreciate in value over time. It takes time to create assets, and it takes time for the assets to appreciate in value over time. So that way, you can have something to fall back on when you get older. Because let's be real here. A lot of us, it's hard finding a job now. And when we get older, let's say we get into our 50s or 60s, and if we can't have a job then, they're going to just throw us out to the streets. And if you don't have any type of assets that you can live off of or something like that, you're pretty much screwed, right? So as a guy in this position, you really have to look out for yourself, man. Like as cold as that seems, you have to. Man, you know what it is. Man, who was there for you when you were crying by yourself 3 a.m. in the morning? When you take a damn pillow and you take some of your covers and you put it on top of your chest and pretend it's a woman sleeping on your chest, because you never slept in the same bed as a woman and woke up because no woman ever wanted you because of how you look like. They don't know about that type of pain, right? Like the normies don't know about that, but we know about that. We know about how it feels like to be isolated from our friends, from our family, how people look at us like we're the insane ones, like we're the crazy ones, like we're the ones that are nothing in life. Like we know how it feels like to be at the bottom with the bottom. We know how it feels like to be rotten. We know how it feels like to be destroyed. And yet the world wants to gaslight you and say, oh, it's your fault that this, that, and this. And it's like, bro, if that man has never walked a mile in your shoes, that man has never experienced the things you experience, that man can't talk to you or judge you about nothing. How you gonna let another grown man tell you about your life, the things that you're going through, the things that you've been through, right? Because what that man eats doesn't make me shit, and vice versa, right? You have to really have a strong mind in this world. Because when you go to work every single day, because you're going to have to work every day, you're going to do that because you're going to have to get loosed by the demiurge and his archons every day. That's just mandatory. But when you go to work every single day, do you notice that there's always one person or a group of people that don't like you? When you go to class, like this part of the reason why I stopped going to college. I had this one class or whatever, and the teacher was a police officer, I think he had just retired, like maybe like a year or two, but he was still like sometimes there'll be like random cops that would just come into class and they'd be talking and I'm like, oh shit, because I don't get along too much with police and stuff like that, bro. And like it's just I've had my run-ins with the law. I'll just say that, but So like in that class, that teacher would always pick on me. And I remember this, I forgot what movie it was, but he put on a movie. And I remember the movie that the people said, sand, and then they said, the N word or whatever. And I remember when that happened, everybody kind of stopped and kind of looked back at me. And you know what the teacher did? He looked and he rewinded it back. And then was trying to gauge my reaction. Like I'm sitting here, looking at this like, okay, like why did he like did anybody else see this? And the people seen it, but no one spoke up for me. No one said anything, And this is in college. I remember being in high school, middle school, and elementary school, getting kicked out of class for no reason. And even then, those kids they stuck up for me. You know, they stuck up for me. But when I got older, it's like people got colder when I got older, and no one's going to stick up for you no more. And I remember that kept happening. I kept having these girls in class that would always laugh at me. Like they would see me and just start laughing. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what? So I said, you know what? I just stopped going. And that's the last time I've ever been to Long Beach City College. Like, nah, I'm not gonna go to that place and just get humiliated for nothing. And then this school's not gonna guarantee me being a multi-millionaire anyway. I know some people say a lot of our dreams and ambitions, some of it's unrealistic, like being a famous rapper or being this, that. I understand that, but I was taught in Christianity, so that's why I was trapped in insanity. I was taught that you're supposed to believe and God is going to do this and God's going to open up a way and you're going to have everything you ever dreamed and ever wanted, but that's not always the case, right? A lot of the time, some people are just destined for greatness and some people are just destined for failure, and that's the truth. And unfortunately for us, a lot of us are just destined for a life of just servitude, for a life of just, being screwed over. I mean? It's brutal, but it's a reality. We have to understand that this world wasn't created by good forces. There's a reason why we're always under attack. We're always under the thunder of attack. We always have somebody who we don't even know, who we never talked to, who we never spoke to, who we don't even think about. We always have somebody like that that's going to come out the woodworks and try to attack you. You know how many people has attacked me when I don't even know who these people even are? These people will have a whole entire thing all about me. And I don't even know these people exist. I feel like a celebrity. This what happens with celebrities. This happens to people like Kendrick Lamar. When you're famous and you're a rap star, you got people, creating all type of imaginary scenarios with you. It's like, why are you so infatuated with a man? What's wrong with you? Because if this gets exposed to the public and everybody sees, if your mom, if your grandmother, if your grandpa, if your family, your friends find out what you're doing on the internet, trolling and doing this, how's that going to look? Let's say you're in your college class, if you even go to class, or let's say if you have a job, if you even have a job. Because you can't possibly have a job if you stay online 24/7 trolling grown men. You know what I mean? It's just, or if you're dealing with shit in real life, whenever you go to your classes or whatever, and you're dealing with people that always have this judgmental type of energy about them. They always want to judge you. They always want to look at you. They always want to talk about you. It's like, why do they do that? Because if you pop them in the mouth, then now you're the person that's in trouble, right? You know what it is? A lot of these men nowadays, these guys were like, a lot of these men were raised by females. I hate to just say that, but it's the truth. A lot of people were really raised by females, and not just any type of females. As Jason Black says, a single mother. Can I say that word? I'm not gonna even chance it, But yeah, a lot of men are raised by single mothers. Hell, I was raised by a single mother, my grandmother too, But I don't have those female tendencies like that. I mind my business. I don't talk about nobody. I don't try to start beef with nobody. I don't give a damn about no other man, brother, who's trying to, puff out their chest or whatever. Like when I go in public, I'm not sitting there trying to mad dog people. I'm not trying to say I'm the biggest, baddest, hardest. I'm not trying to do all that, bro. I only like people that like me. If you mess with me, I mess with you. You show me love, I show you love. That's how I am. Point blank, period. You show me love, I show you love. Because that's just the energy that I radiate. I don't radiate all this negative energetic manifestation frequency because it's pointless. It's pointless. Why would anybody in their right mind waste the limited time you have on earth to speak on another grown man who you don't know, who in real life, if you see, you're not going to say a damn thing, right? Just mind your business. If you don't like me, if you don't like the content I make, why are you watching me? That makes no sense. There must be something about me that you like, and you just can't admit it. Just leave me alone. I'm not, bro. I got to deal with real, bro. I'm homeless with nothing. Why the fuck do you? Why are you trying to mess with me? I'm just trying to live my life, bro, and trying to survive, brother. I'm not trying to starve. I said this again. Even before I got doxxed, I said it. I said, look, I don't got a beef with you. Leave me alone. And this person still did it. But guess what? I came back better than ever and with a vengeance. I may not be able to be as wild as I was when I was Black Pill Villain, make my bot videos and expose those bops and those thoughts that made a lot of these blue pill, black pillars. A lot of people in this community, I don't like calling it community. A lot of people in this community are really blue pillars in disguise. They're not black pill. Most people are not really living the life we're living. Most of these people in this position, they're not really living this life where you're by yourself. They're not really living this life. And they're damn sure ain't living my life. Homeless, in poverty, mental health issues, going through it. These people live at home with their, they got their parents, they got this, they got that, they got support, they got people, you know what I mean? They just can't get a girl in their life, and that's it. Because the minute you talk about a girl that they like, watch how they all switch up on you, right? Like me as a man, I talk about mental health and being attacked or whatever, but if I show like a girl who I know is blatantly not really, like she says she's mentally ill and all that, but I mean, you ain't really mentally ill. I can tell, you know what I mean? I can tell that if you say anything bad about that person, watch everybody defends her. So that's just the nature of a lot of people that haven't really been through nothing in their life. Because when you've been through things in life, you know how serious things can get. So you don't just start problems with people to start problems with people. It's not a fun thing. It's not fun and games, because it's not going to be fun and games when it comes back on your ass, right? See, everybody thinks it's funny when it's not them. But the minute they get teased or get put in your situation or get mentally, physically, or spiritually abused, they want to cry. They want to cry. They want to complain. But they're the ones that started everything. I can't stand people that can throw stones, but they live in a glass house.